Hello and welcome to this Liverpool news roundup here on Anfield Agenda. My name is Conor and I'm going to take you through all of the latest Liverpool news, including some bits around centre-backs, some bits about Xabi Alonso and Jurgen Klopp, some stats around Florian Wirtz and how he's settling into life at Liverpool, and a surprise link with a defensive midfielder from the Premier League who hasn't really been mentioned a whole lot recently, which is a very interesting one. Before we get into it, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's jump straight into the news. Let's start off with that surprise midfielder link then. So this report here, it doesn't explicitly mention Liverpool, but I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility to think that we are one of the clubs interested. So this is from Fabrizio Romano, who says, Juventus want to sign Sandro Tonali in the summer. People close to Sandro Tonali expect Premier League top clubs to arrive and jump on the case for the possibility to sign him. So top Premier League clubs are looking at Newcastle's Sandro Tonali. You would have to presume that's ourselves, Manchester City. Arsenal probably not as much, they have a good few midfielders. Chelsea maybe, if you can call them a top club to be fair, but again, I think there will be a lot of top clubs looking for him if he becomes available, and it just got me thinking, like, he hasn't been one that I've really thought about. Like, in my head, I've been looking at players like Adam Wharton, Elliot Anderson as well, but Sandro Tonali could make a lot of sense, to be fair. Like, again, he's Premier League proven, very good player, great range of passing, he's good at pressing, fantastic deep lying player, can play a little bit further forward as well, gives us some different options, and I think it could be a shout, to be fair. So please do let me know, would you take Sandro Tonali at Liverpool, or would you rather someone like an Adam Wharton maybe? Because I've always been Adam Wharton all the way, but I don't know, I wouldn't say no to Sandro Tonali. I think that would definitely be an interesting one if something was to develop. Like, I think we were linked with him before he moved to Newcastle when he was at AC Milan. There was always chatter around us kind of half looking at him. So I would be interested to see if he does become available. Would the Reds make a move? Again, let me know if you would take him, because I certainly would. Next up then, we have a story from Paul Gorst around a young centre-back that Liverpool have just signed. So this says, figures inside Anfield believe Ifeanyi Ndukwe has the potential to progress into Liverpool's first team setup in the future. It's understood Liverpool fought off interest from Serie A giants Inter to secure the centre-back in a deal worth around £2.5 million. Now, he is an Austrian defender, he's coming from Austria Vienna, and he's going to turn 18 in March, so he will be in the academy setup, he will go into the underage groups, but, like, is anyone else baffled by this report? So, figures inside Anfield believe he has the potential to progress into Liverpool's first team setup in the future. Like, yes, clearly. Like, why else would we sign him? Of course we're going. Like, why would we sign a player if we didn't think he was going to progress into the first team? Like, because, like, surely that is the logic. Like, I don't want us to become one of these clubs who just buys up 10 young lads, loans them out constantly, makes a few quid on them, like the Chelsea model, like of just having about 100 lads on your books. Like, I don't like that. I hope we're not going down that route. Like, I hope that everyone we do sign is genuinely seen as someone who could actually progress and will be given a chance to progress. So, surprising to read that. I thought it was a bit weird, but yeah, like, surely that's obvious that we think he can progress, because why else would we be signing him? Next up then, on centre-back, Stan Collymore has been speaking, and he has suggested that Liverpool should target Ezri Konsa and Mark Gahey to secure high value in the transfer market. If I was head of recruitment at Liverpool, I think Konsa and Gay would both be deals that provide good value for money. Aston Villa have PSR issues that they need to address, so if they were to get a big fee for Konsa, they might have to consider it. Again, not someone I ever really considered, to be honest, but he is young, he's homegrown, he can play right back and centre back. Like, there could be something to it, to be fair. I don't think Villa would want to let him go, but maybe a cheeky bid, who knows? Like, Mark Gahey, I'm all over it, but Ezri Konsa, yeah, not someone I really thought about too much, so please do let me know what you think of that link. Next up then, I wanted to speak about Florian Wirtz, and this is coming from Robert Andrich, who was the captain at Bayer Leverkusen, and still is, but he was captain at the time that Florian Wirtz was there, and he suggested him to not go to Bayern Munich, and he had this to say: please don't go to Bayern, I honestly thought he'd go there. I told him at some point, please don't do it, don't do this to us. You can say that for German football we need German talents to stay here, but in the end there's only Bayern Munich at the very top when we talk about quality like flows. I wanted him to go abroad, I told the Bayern guys that too. I was happy for him that he took the next step. I wouldn't have thought he'd dare to go abroad as soon. Like, we've seen Dortmund CEO basically coming out saying he wished that Wirtz had gone to Bayern Munich. Like, I never understood that logic. I'd be far more on Robert Andrich's side here of just saying, like, he doesn't want his own players. Like, fair enough, you want to keep the best German talent in Germany, but people wanting him to go to direct rivals. That's just bizarre, and it's just nice to see him backing up the fact that he wanted him to go abroad. Nice to see him giving his props as well for actually making the bold move to pick the harder choice, because he could have went to Bayern Munich. He could have settled in there very quickly. I'm sure he would have been a success there, as he will be at Liverpool, but definitely he's backing himself. Like, he just said he'd step out of his comfort zone, move country. He's still very young, and it's starting to pay dividends. And there's a stat here from friend of the channel, Mr. David Lynch, who said Wirtz has played 20 Premier League games this season, yet 66% of his XG and 57% of his XAG has been generated across the last 8 outings. Now, I think Wirtz has something like, is it 6 goals and assists in the last 8 games or something around that? Like, he has been on a very good streak here. He's finally starting to actually get output. Like, I was about to say he's finally starting to play well, but he has been playing well for a long time. But he is starting to back that up now with actual output, which is fantastic to see, because people were slating him with that stat and stuff, and it is good to see him turning it around in that regard. But probably has been one of our best players in the last 6 or 8 weeks, to be fair. And it's fantastic. Like, he's such a wonderful footballer to watch, such a beautiful player on the ball, and I'm glad he's starting to actually get his plaudits now, that he's starting to get a few goals and assists as well. So good to see that one. Moving on to the daily manager chat then, of course. So James Pearce was speaking about Xabi Alonso, and he said another alarming downturn in results would reignite the debate over Slot's future. Like, I would argue that the debate was never actually over. It's still going on, to be fair, but I do understand where he's coming from, that we are unbeaten in 11, and it's slowed down a little bit. Like, people do still want him out, but it's not quite as fierce as it was a couple of weeks ago. But he continues to say, and if a managerial change were to be made, Alonso would certainly be a popular choice among the fan base. There was another report then this morning which said Liverpool are already closely monitoring Alonso's next steps in management, with Spain-based newspaper AS further confirming that alongside Bayern Munich and Manchester City, they see the former Reds player as the ideal figure to lead their projects. Although Alonso has emerged as the strongest candidate to take over from Pep Guardiola at present, Liverpool are also closely monitoring Alonso, who has been dubbed as an absolute legend on the red half of Merseyside. Slot's tenure has been questioned this season, raising concerns amongst fans and the board, which means the possibility of seeing Alonso in the Anfield dugout is growing. Alonso is thought to be taking some time to reflect before deciding on his next managerial venture. He will have no shortage of offers, and the Premier League remains his most likely destination, potentially seeing the Reds claiming their winning identity back, one that they showed at will under Dutch boss Slot throughout last season. Few interesting bits there. So that claims that he is the strongest candidate to take over after Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. I would have said that's Enzo Maresca, to be honest, but I could certainly see why he'd be interested in the job. Whether he would take it or not is another thing. I think if it was between us and Liverpool, I'm sure he would pick us, but we have to actually make that decision, don't we? Like, we can't just let him go there if we do want him. And I do believe that the club will want him. Like, he is very high on the list. He was very high when Jurgen Klopp left, but he didn't want to leave Germany at that time. He wanted to stay another year. We went for Arne Slot, and then he ended up going to Madrid. But I think he would jump at the opportunity to be Liverpool manager, I'm sure. But out of his 3 clubs, he does want to go to Bayern Munich. They're doing well, to be fair, with Vincent Kompany, so I can't see that job coming up really very soon. Manchester City, Pep Guardiola looks like he's leaving at the end of the season, and Arne Slot, of course, is under fire a lot here, so he probably does end up at either us or Man City. Let's hope and pray that's not Manchester City, because that would just be very sad to see. But I could understand it from his point of view. That will be an attractive team to manage if they get rid of the charges and if they are cleared of that, I presume. Like, I don't think he'll want to go in there before that's all cleared up, but if we do get a verdict on that, we're supposed to get one in November, to be fair, and we still haven't, so hopefully we get one soon. Hopefully they're relegated to League 1 or League 2, and then we can just get in Alonso and he won't want to go there anymore. But yeah, I am waffling at this point, but yeah, just I can't think of Xabi Alonso at Man City. I just hate that idea in my head. I want to finish up then with I was going to call it a report or a news from Florian Plettenberg, but I think that would actually be doing it too much justice. So he came out this morning and said, Jurgen Klopp is seriously considering a return as head coach should Real Madrid make a concrete move for the summer, as exclusively revealed. Now, Florian Plettenberg said this, what was it, probably 2 days ago. Within the hour of him saying it first, Jurgen Klopp himself, Mr. Jurgen Klopp, sat down, did an interview and said, the Real Madrid interest is absolutely nothing to me. It doesn't sway me. It doesn't nothing. And he's still banging on about it. So Real Madrid have always fascinated him. He is happy at Red Bull and has a strong identification with the Red Bull project. But there are at least 2 projects for which he would return if everything fits. Real Madrid and the German national team. Klopp and Real Madrid, one to watch for summer 2026. It's where do we even start with this? Real Madrid could not be further from what Jurgen Klopp wants in a team. Like, can you imagine him trying to convince Vinny Jr. and Jude Bellingham to gegenpress? Like, just come on, like, it's the way the club operates, the way the fans are towards players, just everything. Absolutely nothing about Real Madrid screams Jurgen Klopp, and nothing about Jurgen Klopp screams Real Madrid. That's just absolute bullshit. And I don't know why he keeps peddling this nonsense, because Klopp himself said he's not interested. He has himself said multiple times he's not interested in managing anymore. It's not even crossing his mind because he's so happy since he left it. Like, just stop. The Germany national team, maybe someday, maybe he does come out of retirement to go do that, because that's a far less stressful job, far less day to day, and it will be like a national pride thing to go manage his country at some point, I'm sure, if he did want to get back into management, which is still a big if. There's no way on earth he's going to Real Madrid. Never. Again, I said it in the video the other day, there's more chance of him ending up at Spurs than Real Madrid. And even that's like, what, 0.00000000001%. Like, it's just stop. Plettenberg, stop. Please, just stop. You're just making yourself look like a fool at this point. Anyway, rant over. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new. Craig will have a video out at about 4:30. That'll be an update news video, and then he'll be live from 8:45, and then we'll have the Burnley preview coming out tonight around 10:30 or 10:45. So please do keep an eye out for those. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon.